Lately, I've been doing really good at estate sales, and today falls right in line with that. I did really well and got some amazing items. Like a few items that are gonna make me hundreds and hundreds of dollars by themselves. In fact, I did so good on the first day of the sale that I went back today, which was the third day of the sale, for 50% off, and I scored really big again. But today we're focusing on the first day of the sale. If you want to see what happened today, this morning for me on the third day of the sale, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. For now, let's hop into day one and check out these amazing scores.
Okay, 4, 5.
Thank you. So here we are at the location of today's sale, and you can see right here, I beelined it straight inside to the living room where there was this big toy display. There was some awesome stuff there. A lot of it was priced up, but there was one toy in particular that I was trying to get my hands on. However, I think the lady next to me ended up grabbing it first, so not off to the best start, but that was about to change. After realizing I wasn't getting my hands on the toy that I wanted, I beelined it straight down to the basement where I remembered in the pictures there were some electronics that were brand new in the box that I wanted to get my hands on, and check these out.
There's some Sony Walkmans.
That's right, the first items I ended up grabbing were a couple of brand new in the package Sony Walkmans. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that Sony Walkmans can have some insane value. Even the loose ones can be worth very good money, but brand new in the package, these things can go for hundreds, if not over $1,000 if you find the right models. These two right here are some of the cheaper ones, but at 20 bucks a pop, there was plenty of money to be made. I think I can get at least $100 a piece out of these. And as you can see right here, those two that I grabbed right there were not the only portable cassette players available. Unfortunately, some of them, like this Memorex one, were priced up. However, there were some cheaper ones in here that I took a chance on for like $5 a piece, and there ended up being two more brand new in the box Sony Walkmans, and these ones are even better than the first ones I grabbed.
Yeah, that's a cool one. I'll have to look all these up. Definitely have to look these up.
These two Sony Walkmans right here were priced up a little bit. I paid 40 bucks a piece for them, but I was pretty sure that these were a more desirable model. They just have that cool retro look to them. And when I looked them up, I was pleasantly surprised to see that these things were going for around 300 bucks a piece. Yeah, I'm not joking. These things were an awesome score. If you see Sony Walkmans that are brand new, always look them up. Expect them to have some value. And down in these boxes, there were a bunch of other loose Sony Walkmans. I didn't end up picking any of them up because they were priced up at or just under eBay prices. It just didn't make sense for resale. Anyways, after those amazing scores right there, I made my way up into the bedroom to see a huge pile of brand new dead stock vintage clothing from the 70s and 80s.
We got all kinds of brand new stuff.
But unfortunately, a lot of this stuff just wasn't worth picking up. The estate sale company was charging between $5 and $15 per piece, depending on what you were buying. And a lot of it, even though it was new, it was not the best brand names. It looked like the guy might have bought out a Kmart or a Sears at one point in time, and that's where the majority of this stuff had come from. There was also a closet full of jackets and coats over on the left side of the room. Unfortunately, all of those were priced up as well. Like this Marlboro jacket was priced up at 40 bucks, so I ended up having to pass on this. However, I did dig pretty deep into this pile of clothing and pulled some awesome stuff. Check these out.
That's pretty cool. Look at that. That's cool. Oh, kid shirt, 1986.
So as you saw right there, there were a couple of vintage Harley Davidson pieces hidden here inside this big pile on the bed. Unfortunately, I did have to put back that sweatshirt. It was a homemade one. It still was really cool, but they had it priced at 40 bucks. I didn't see the sticker originally. However, this guy right here is an absolute gem. Look at this down here. Hopefully the camera's picking it up. It says 1986 3D emblem. And if you know, you know. If that's not setting off alarm bells in your head right now, listen up. Vintage 80s Harley Davidson pieces, the 3D emblem tags, can be worth some insane money, like hundreds of dollars. In fact, this shirt right here in an adult size is probably worth around 200 bucks. However, obviously, it ain't an adult size. This thing is rather small. But still, even though this is a kid's shirt, I still think I can pull over $100 for this piece. And as I dug deeper and deeper into this stack of vintage clothing, I actually ended up finding a few more pieces like these Coolidge Phys Ed shirts right here. These are brand new dead stock, and I actually ended up grabbing not one, but actually 3 of these guys, as well as 2 of these 1984 Chicago Marathon shirts, this vintage pinstripe Chicago Cubs polo, and 3 of these guys right here.
Whoa, look at that one, that's cool.
I'm not exactly sure what to call these. They almost remind me of scrub tops or something, but they were too cool to leave. That graphic on the back, I just fell in love with.
That's such a cool graphic. I love that. Look at that, that's cool.
For yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I just buy up the things too. I hope it's easier.
I mean, you can beat these prices, so. There's another one inside here. Virgo's Owner Club. Little motorcycle tee in there. Cool.
And right there I grabbed this brand new with tags Logo 7 America the Beautiful shirt from 1976, as well as this Virgo Owners Club motorcycle tee. It's single stitch. I'm guessing, again, it's probably from the 70s or early 80s. This thing is just too cool. Anything that is vintage motorcycle is going to have some value. Now, I'm not exactly sure how much those vintage tees are going to sell for. They aren't like super popular ones. They're not ones that people are out there searching for, but they are brand new. They are from the 70s, so there will be a market for them. I think conservatively I can expect around $20 a piece on them. Some of them might be worth more, some of them might be worth a little less, but I still think that that is a great pickup. Anytime I can find anything vintage like that, especially brand new, I'm going to pick up. And after digging through those clothes for a while, I made my way back down into the basement to look through some more of those boxes, and I came across what is potentially my best score of the sale. This guy.
Canon 81 in the box. Brand new.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
81?
Yeah. I'll take that.
That's awesome. That's... You look back and saw that box.
Yeah.
This is another item that you'll recognize if you've been around my channel for a while, the Canon 81. It is an iconic camera. It's like the classic silver and black one that you see everywhere. It is a desirable model. People still shoot on it today, and this one is brand new in the box. And I couldn't find many sold comps on it. However, the few that I did see were kind of sporadic, but conservatively, I think I can get at least $500 for this guy since it's brand new. That's absolutely crazy. And as you heard, when I said to the camera what it was, the guy that was in the room with me turned around, he was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. He also knew that it was a good find just by looking at it, and we got to talking a little bit. He actually deals in vintage clothing and ended up walking away with some crazy stuff. But listen to this, it's kind of wild.
Cincinnati.
Yay!
Dude, I'm from Cincinnati.
Are you?
I just moved here from Cincinnati.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Where are we from?
Oh, that's awesome.
We're not driving them big.
That's
I
awesome.
grabbed 2 Bengals pieces in here.
Oh, did you? Awesome, man.
Before you leave, I'll throw you one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You don't have to, man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you root for the Bengals, man.
Oh, that's my team. I'd get disowned if I said I wasn't a Bengals fan.
I would kick you in your leg if you said you weren't a Bengals fan. Sorry,
My parents would disown me.
I'm a worker, but I kick you in your leg.
There were 2 Bengals jerseys up there.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, you grabbed them?
Yeah.
So as you just heard, that guy was also from Cincinnati, and he had just moved up here to Chicago just like me. And not only that, he is into vintage clothing, so we kind of connected on that level. And he did end up floating me one of these old Bengal jerseys that he found up in that first room that I was in. He had got to that room first and ended up pulling out some really crazy stuff, like that Harley tee that I ended up pulling out. He said he pulled out a stack of 3 or 4 of them, so he just must have missed that one, but he pulled some really good stuff. And not only did he score that little stack of vintage Harley tees, listen to what else he found.
Hey, I left a bunch of tees downstairs, but I just pulled a thing out and found a lot of tees.
Did you? Awesome.
It's a lot of like bullshit, but
That's cool.
if you want to look,
Yeah, I'll look. Did you pull anything good out of there?
Yeah, there's 2 Easy Rider tees in there.
Oh, really? Dang.
Like an $800 tee.
Yeah, that's insane.
It was like Garfield, but there's a bunch down there still.
Okay, cool. I'll go look through them all. Which room was it in?
The room that we were in.
Okay.
Yeah, so he scored pretty big. While I was down in that room grabbing that Canon 81, he was busy pulling out some clothing from the drawers and ended up scoring big time. He basically came out like a bandit, pulled some really high dollar shirts as well as some pretty good mids. He did leave a few down there for me, but congrats to you, man. You absolutely killed it right there. Really happy for you. I got your contact info and hopefully we'll end up doing some business together here in the future. And I did go back down to the basement where he said he left that stack of t-shirts. There wasn't anything crazy in there because obviously he scooped up all the good stuff, but there were still a few lower end pieces that I ended up grabbing, like these old 70s Michelob Light shirts. I found another one of these Coolidge Phys Ed shirts, and then a couple of these vintage Midas ringer tees from the 70s as well. And since I was already down in the basement, I figured I might as well go back to all those boxes and look through the electronics a little more thoroughly, really look up the models on everything, and I came across a box full of these vintage calculators, and some vintage calculators can have some very good money, and I was pleasantly surprised to see how many I picked up. For $2 a piece, I grabbed 8 of these Sharp calculators. The model number is EL-5806 if you want to look them up yourself. 2 EL81-45s, 2 EL8039s, 1 Sharp MC700, and then I took a shot in the dark on this one for $2. It's a Neutron 110B. I didn't really see anything on it, however, it looked kind of cool, so I grabbed it. From there, I made my way back upstairs where the guy from earlier was actually checking out, and he was getting ready to put back a few items, and he asked me if I had any interest in them, and I ended up taking him up on the offer for 2.
You got pass on it?
216.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Pass on that too.
You passed on it? How much was it?
So as you just seen, I grabbed that 1984 Iron Maiden poster off of him, and this guy right here. This is actually a brand new, with the tags, Harley Davidson helmet. Now it is a little dirty and stuff from sitting around on the shelf so long, but it is brand new with the tags, and on the back you can see the model number. It is a Model A right there, if you can see that sticker. He ended up putting it back because it was priced up at $40, which is a little bit of a risk to take for a helmet, an older style helmet that not many people are going to be looking for. However, when I went and did my research, I looked it up, I saw a few pre-owned ones that were selling for some decent money, and they were selling without the face mask on it, and again, they were pre-owned, they weren't new, that were going for some decent money. I think it'll sit around for a while, but when it eventually does sell, I think I can get a few $100 for it. And that wasn't the last Harley item I got either. Check out these guys for $10.
Those are cool. Harley gas tank caps.
And then the only other things that I hadn't looked at in this room were the jewelry display cases up front, or the jewelry boxes I should say, and in there I ended up finding one item that is really good. It's hard to see on the camera, so I'll show you right here. For $10, I got this Pulsar spoon watch. This thing is pretty cool. When I opened up the box here, you can see that the item inside is brand new, if this thing will focus. There we go right there. This thing is brand new in the box, and I was blown away to see that this thing was still sitting on the table because the jewelry area got ravaged like right away by a bunch of people, but everybody skipped out on this, and when I looked it up, I saw it going for over $140. And that's why you can't be afraid to go through items that other resellers have already gone through. You never know what they missed, and sometimes they miss big. Including me. I'm sure I passed up on some valuable stuff, and I'm sure you guys will let me know what that stuff was down in the comments, but I'm not perfect, other people aren't perfect. Be sure to go through everything on your own. And actually, just a few minutes after I grabbed that watch, I was doing my last lap around the house when my camera ended up dying. However, I did grab a few more items that I'll show you in just a second, but I needed to whip out my phone to show you one more crazy score that I can't believe I didn't see the first time. Check this out.
That's a nice one right there. It's a great brand.
That's right, laying right on the bed where all of that clothing was. It must have been just like piled on top of this thing when I went through it the first time and I didn't see them, were these brand new Corcoran jump boots. And this is another one of those great brands I've talked about on my channel before. They make like military style boots and jump boots and stuff like that, and they are very collectible and people love them. These ones were priced at $60. The MSRP originally was $150. However, on today's market, because these are brand new and they are vintage, I should be able to get around $250 for these guys. Again, I'm not really sure how I missed these the first time. If I would have saw them, they would have been an insta grab. They must have just been piled under the clothing. I'm just glad I found them in the end. And then the other items I ended up grabbing once my camera died were a few pairs of these vintage wigwam socks, some packs of old Polaroid film, and then there were these guys. This was a blast of nostalgia for me. Who remembers these? These are Magic Rocks. Now these are the versions from like 1977. They're dated on the bottom, but back in the 90s, I had these. These were still being made in the 90s, and they're basically little rocks that you like drop in water and it grows crystals, if that'll focus. There you go, right there. So you drop the rocks in the water and then crystals would kind of grow up. I had one that had like a pirate ship in it or something, but this just brought back so much nostalgia. I don't know if these things would still work if I ended up using them, but I just couldn't leave them. They were too nostalgic for me. Does anybody else remember these things? And then the only other thing that I ended up grabbing, it's super weird, it's uncommon, it's quirky. You guys are gonna think it is an unusual item and you're gonna think there's no way that it sells, but I had to break out my camera and show you. I bought some vintage underwear. No, I am not joking. I ended up picking up like 4 or 5 different packs of vintage underwear from the 1970s. I'll start popping up comps of the ones that I'm showing you on screen. This stuff surprisingly has a decent value behind it. I don't know what it is. Maybe people collect them. Maybe people are just like drawn into that one specific pair that they're comfortable with. I don't know, but these things sell. It's true what they say. There is a buyer for everything. Anyways, that is everything that I ended up picking up at today's estate sale. Like I said in the beginning, this was just day one. I ended up going back today, the third day of the sale. It was 50% off on select items, and I ended up getting some more really awesome stuff that I missed on the day one, or that was priced up on day one and I didn't want to pay for. I'll give you a quick sneak peek, just one little really quick sneak peek for you guys, just in case you want to come back and see that video. And here it is right here. That is all the sneak peek I'm going to give you guys for my haul from today. Again, I got a bunch more stuff from the sale. Hopefully you guys stick around and come back for that video. Again, subscribe to the channel if you want to see that. But overall, this sale was just fantastic. I got a bunch of really cool items, a bunch of really high dollar items, a bunch of brand new with tag items from like the 70s. This kind of sale just doesn't come around often, and I love it. Anyways, that's going to be it for me. When you guys are watching this video, I'll actually be out in Las Vegas, so there might not be a video next week, but there most likely will. Hopefully, I'll get back in time to edit today's haul, and that'll be the next video. Either way, I hope to see you in the next one. Till next time, keep on treasure hunting.